Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailing man, the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 30-day tour, a 30-day tour. The weather started getting rough, the tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost. The ship's aground on the shore of this uncharted desert isle, with Gilligan, the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Mary Ann, here on Vancouver Island.
Hey there, folks and friends, Connecting Dots here. Welcome to our second episode here of the Gilligan Expedition for Life with, of course, starring Beautiful Girl by Dana. And in this episode, we'll also hear from the skipper himself, Kevin D Blanch. And now, before we get into this stuff, the date today is September 16th, 2014, and Tokyo has been hit with another earthquake. Nothing to be worried about. Fukushima hasn't rattled. There's no tsunami warning. However, the rail service was affected. As you can see on the storyline here, there was two people suffered minor injuries. There's also, as you can see, there was some retaining wall that fell apart. I'm sure there's been other little problems here and there, but it even goes on to say here, even central Tokyo, well, the shake there was a 4.5, even though the actual magnitude was a 5.6 at the location itself. So, in the latest Expedition for Life, we find Beautiful Girl by Dana. Well, again, he's still playing around with potassium-40 and bananas when he doesn't want to get down to it and actually pull up a Geiger counter and put it up against some of the sea life here on the West Coast. Because if you've been following along here, this is an entire claim that the Pacific Ocean is dead. Well, actually now, since we've been doing the videos, he's changed his tune a little bit. So it's gone from dead to dying to, well, just pockets of areas are dead now, apparently. I can't believe it. So he's uploaded a couple of videos in the last couple of days, and I'm going to quickly touch on some of it. So the latest one here, he doesn't want to go out and check any readings. He's telling people we don't know what we're talking about, Geiger counters. Sorry there, bro. I actually have 2 Geiger counters, and both of them are more expensive than yours, and I'm not looking for potassium-40. I'm actually going out testing real things like fallout. So what are you doing there, sitting in your RV testing the air? I'm not sure, but according to Beautiful Girl by Dana, the entire Pacific West Coast, or I should say the tidal pools, or specific tidal pools, now are all wiped out. They're dying, and that's what he put up here in this latest one here. I'll show you how he doesn't even know the stars, the sea stars that he comes across. Doesn't even know what they're called. He's taking pictures of them with an underwater camera, which, by the way, we all find out now, it's not him taking the pictures, it's someone else there. There's other people. And one of the people that's supposed to be on his tour, as we've all heard, he's paying a bug guy. Well, coincidentally here, he gets on his scooter. No, seriously, I couldn't make this stuff up. He jumps on his scooter, and he drives along the side of the road with his scooter, and taking pictures here and there on the pavement, and telling people, look, the bugs are missing in Port Alberni. Folks, you couldn't make this stuff up. This is like a comedy, and this is why it's called the Gilligan Expedition for Life, because we actually we have like some of the dumbest people in charge of this expedition, not willing to actually use a little bit of common sense and check out some of the sea life that they're apparently saying is all dead and wiped out, which it can't be, because if the radiation had actually hit the West Coast in such massive levels, because I mean, for someone or life form to die from radiation almost instantly, or even within a year, they've had to receive a massive dose. Therefore, we'd have lots of it kicking around on the shoreline. Now, oddly enough, this whole thing started up with the backup from his buddy from where else? Tofino. So that's right up the road here, or I should say up the coast from where he is, because he's located right now in Banfield. That's, oddly enough, in the Pacific Rim National Park Reserve. And he actually uploads a video telling folks how, yes, the starfish are dying. Yeah, I can't believe it. Right in the park, and there's actually a University Marine research group located right where he is, and he's actually saying that they don't notice it, but yeah, he's noticing how there's 5,500 species that have vanished in these tidal pools. That's what he says here. 5,500 species. No one else notices. But this guy here goes out on his boat and lowers the camera into the water and tells you that the starfish are dying. Honestly, I couldn't make up this stuff here. And his buddy, the skipper, Kevin D Blanch, by the way, he wasn't leading the march, folks. I hope you realize that. He came and jumped in front. Where's the proof? If he was actually leading the million, let's say, well, there's not a million there, but let's say if he was actually leading all these people, do you not think he'd have just a little bit more than 6,000 subscribers? I think so, eh? Considering, I mean, I've been making Fukushima videos since day one. I'm already way ahead of him. So what's going on? Well, he's pretending to lead the march, but I'm not even going to jump into that. What's more important is that the skipper here, I should say Kevin D Blanch, actually goes down to the coast in California, and he videotapes the side of this boardwalk here, which is just overlooking the beach, as you can see. And I'll leave a link down below so you folks can go watch these videos here that I'm talking about, so you know that I'm not full of poo-poo when I actually say what I'm saying. So he videotapes the side here, and you're actually seeing the nice rich area, which, by the way, he trips himself up at the end. Because in the beginning, everything's dead because of the Fukushima. It's hit the west coast, and look, it's all dead and used to be all lush. And then as he travels a little bit further down, he flips the camera over to the other side and he points at the grass and he says, look, they water all here, they keep it all lively here, why don't they water the other side, the natural species? Ah, that's the trick. The reason why the grass over here is all nice and green is because it's watered, and someone must be pumping the water over the edge, because that one little patch there does have green. But if you go read the comments, there's actually a fellow there that lives, or should say has gone to those areas, knows the beaches very well, and left a comment telling Kevin D Blanch, why don't you just go down a little bit further here, because there's a very beautiful area. There's actually a botanical park there. Why don't you take some videos there? He's not going to. He picks out a specific area along the beach and tell y'all it's dead. So it's not dead. These guys are very picky about what they look at, and in this latest video, Beautiful Girl by Dana is saying to everyone, look at the starfish, it's dead. He can't name it, but if you go look here, you do a research on the type of leather star, that's the type of sea star it is, you'll notice they all look the same. There's nothing different from the one he has in his picture than the ones that are all here. And I'll leave a link here because obviously Dana doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to sea stars. So not only will you guys know what's going on, but hopefully one of the Fukushima hounds will actually send this off to him so he can actually be informed and stay on top of it, instead of just babbling his gate and not actually having any proof of what he's talking about, and then guys like me come along and just blow him right out of the water and show how he doesn't know what he was talking about. So I'll leave a link here, but what I want him to do is actually keep an eye out for this one, Dana, the morning sun star. Okay, tell your folks there, your son or whoever's handling the camera, to keep an eye out for this one and check out there, because this one is one big nasty sun sea star, because it goes after all the other ones. It's a predator, and well, the Velcro one is one of the lucky ones in here. So anyways, I'll leave a link down below, because obviously he doesn't know his species, and I think it's very important that if he's going to start making claims that this one looks dead and this, oh, look at this one here, it used to be blue before, I think it's very important that people actually know what colors these sea stars come in before we listen to somebody telling you all it's dead, the Pacific Ocean's dead. Very sad here. No real research on this YouTube channel, just propaganda, fear, no real research. So the links are down below. Anyone interested, you can follow up on this stuff. Okay, with some more news here, I'm going to go into the solar panels, the seafood, silver at the end, but it's kind of important and it all ties in together. So you may have noticed I've made stories in the past regarding the ban of Japanese seafood. So now it turns out here that, well, the ministry is trying to change this whole thing around. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but again here, South Korea had banned it in 2013, and it originally started way back earlier on. And to give you an idea just how close they are, in South Korea, and there's a Fukushima prefecture. So they not only were they concerned about their ocean, the sea there, the Sea of Japan, but they're concerned that the fact that the food there might be radiated, which is the whole thing why I'm asking Beautiful Girl by Dana to actually test some samples, get some bivalves, pick up some mussels, send something to a lab, do some real checking. Don't just come out with a camera and point it anywhere where it's dead and say, oh well, or anywhere you don't find life. Excuse me. And even when you do find life, he seems to overlook it as it being potential life. Instead, he wants to tell everyone it's dead, there's no life. Anyways, there's no doubt about it here that they're concerned about the seafood, and yes, checking the seafood, which is the reason why I'm raising funds here for the gamma spectrometer, because I happen to live here right on the Strait of Juan de Fuca, as I'd mentioned before. The exact same location here where on Jeff Wren's show and Beautiful Girl by Dana, how they're all talking how the Strait of Juan de Fuca carries in massive flow of water back and forth, and I happen to live in the city of Victoria. I'm 5 minutes away from the ocean. If I had a gamma spectrometer, well, I could definitely check the seafood on an ongoing basis so I can stay on top of it. So yeah, they're concerned about it, and way back in 2012 here, we heard they'd prohibited 64 Japanese items here. So it looks like they want to change it. Now, another new story, well, Japan's just risen its amount of plutonium. Yeah, they're stockpiling more of it. It's gone up an extra 2.9 tons. We have a little bit of good news. It's at the end here, but even in USA, this is why I keep saying Arnie Gunderson is definitely not a big whistleblower, because he'd be treated the same as everybody else, instead of his company always getting these safety remedial projects at these different nuclear plants. Real whistleblowers are treated the way this person is treated. So if you want to hit the space bar and read it, you'll understand why many of us have already figured out, on top of the fact that Arnie Gunderson is telling people that you can store nuclear radiation for thousands of years safely. We all know that's a lie here. So it turns out that there's been problems that are ongoing here in Hanford. I've made other videos about this, how there's been high levels of death births there in that specific area. So they have ongoing levels of releases, I should say, of plutonium at the plant, and a whistleblower, yeah, they're trying to, well, pull a quick one on him, basically. I'll leave a link down below if you want to go read the story. They're trying to turn him into the enemy, and that's the way it goes when you're a whistleblower. Here's some good news, though. Seriously, a little bit of good news. So it turns out that this Kyocera, which is a large cell phone maker in Japan, had joined up with this other company, Century Tokyo Leasing Corporation, and they've now joined up with a French company called Ciel et Terre International. And basically Ciel et Terre, which is heaven and earth, basically they build these supports, floating supports, and the other company, Kyocera Corporation and Century Tokyo Leasing, make the solar panels. So they've already got several of these panels, or I should say these floating structures going on here. They've constructed 28 solar power plants so far, and 11 of these plants have already begun operation here. Now the latest one is going to be even bigger than ever before, and it all began a while back here when they started this original one. I'm not really good with Japanese name. Kagoshima Natsujima mega solar power plant sits in the shadow of the Sakurajima active volcano. I've made videos in the past on this volcano. I had no idea that the solar plant was actually sitting that close. So it produces enough enough electrical power for 22,000 homes. This whole area is 314 acres. Yeah, it's a large area, and like I said, it sits right below or right near the volcano itself. And yeah, massive area here. As you can see, looks like there's some military installations in the background here, which is what it says. There's also a launch pad there. So yeah, it's a big area. But the largest solar project here is actually in Tennessee, Chattanooga. There's a solar plant, the Volkswagen plant. Okay, I notice I'm running out of time here, so hit the space bar, read these links, and yeah, this is the reason why it's going to go. There's two types of solar panels, and the silver ones are the most efficient ones. So this is the chart going all the way back to the year 2000. As you can see here, I've been calling this low. We've hit an all-time low. As far as I'm concerned, it's time to load up. You want to buy the 4-9 silver, the Canadian silver maple leaf coins, the purest silver coins in the world, 10 times more pure than any other government minted coin. Remember that. I'll get into it another time. Take care, folks.